I'm curious if how this one sits with you. Yesterday, I sent a meme to a friend of mine. It was a little raw. I like dark comedy, but I didn't think much of it, right? He responded thoughtfully, as always, and we ended up talking about spiritual bypassing, embodiment, and how people relate to emotions. And honestly, it was a good conversation. But there was somewhere in the middle of it, I noticed something unexpected happening inside of me. And I want to share this because I talk about this topic a lot, right? It was, if I had to describe it, which I ask my clients to do, is a tightness, a little spike in discomfort, if being honest, like a subtle fear that he may be talking about me. Not because he said anything directly. He didn't. His tone was really neutral, philosophical, respectful. My nervous system didn't care about the logic. It was reacting anyway. And this is the part I want to share. Talking about emotional work doesn't make you immune to emotional reactions. Okay. Old wounds don't disappear just because you intellectually understand them. They become quieter, right? There's more space. And I call like that standard deviation of how long they live has kind of shrunk. The initial reaction is still there because they still live in the body. And sometimes a completely ordinary conversation lights them up. Years ago, I was in roles where I felt pressure to be spiritually correct, emotionally steady, essentially perfect for other people, right? As a financial advisor and someone running a church. And somewhere along the way, my system learned, if you're misunderstood, you could lose belonging. And in moments of imperfection, I did lose friends, and I never understood that. I'm like, that seemed like a minor transgression, if it was even a transgression. So my body learned to respond and react to that. So now when I'm having conversations or reading things, that if I see some level of ambiguity, like even harmless ambiguity, this old alarm kind of flickers back on. Now the difference is not that the alarm never sounds. The difference is what happens next. Instead of arguing with the feelings or pretending it wasn't there, I stayed with it, felt the tightness. I let it be uncomfortable. And then I asked it gently, what is this actually about? Not intellectually, in the body, noticing it in my body. And then when I found, it wasn't about my friend at all. It was an old echo, which I love that term. Old echo, a memory stored as sensation, information. And that's all emotions are at their core, information moving through the system. So the work that I do, it's not about eliminating them. The work is to notice them without turning them into a story about reality. So I didn't need to confront him. I didn't need reassurance. Like, is this okay? Did I offend you? Right? That's an old pattern. And I didn't need to fix the conversation. I didn't need to go back in and kind of work around it, right? I just needed to sit with the signal long enough for it to metabolize. And that's what I did. That's embodied, not perfection, not transcendence, not ever being triggered, just staying present, noticing, and giving the nervous system enough space to complete what it didn't get to complete years ago. So if you're doing this kind of work and you still feel old emotions rise up, please listen to me. That is not failure. And I thought it was failure for over a decade. Why am I still reacting to these things? I'm doing it wrong, right? And then I heard a very wise man once say, no, no, I still feel all those things. They just last significantly shorter. And I'm like, oh, is that what's true with me too? Yes. Right. So that's the work revealing itself. That's your system saying, here's another layer, ready when you are, right? So give yourself grace. The goal isn't to become someone who doesn't feel. The goal is to become someone who can feel without running. I think that's where actual freedom lives.